Alright, here we go. We're not sure much we're going to get through today, but in YouTube land, you're going to feel like it's all one seamless game. This might take James and I 6 months to play. But, yeah, he's building a resonator. I just figured out what that was a minute ago. So we're going to have a field battle. No real objectives. I don't know if I'm actually going to play the English. James is going to play the French, because we're just going to switch it up. We've always had someone attacking, so I don't know if I'm going to attack or I'm going to puss out or what. We'll figure it out. James usually is a kamikaze, so we'll see what happens. French forces, 1st Brigade on the left. We've got the 1st Battalion, 2nd Regiment of Line. This is the usual suspects. 2nd Battalion, 2nd Regiment of Line. 1st Battalion, 8th, and 3rd Battalion, 36. Then in the center, 2nd Brigade is 2nd Battalion, 55th. 4th Battalion, 9th. 1st Battalion, 47th, and the 3rd Battalion, 70th. And then on the right flank is the Guard, and you got 1st Battalion, 2nd Regiment of Grenadiers of the Old Guard. Oh, it went right to left on me, sorry about that. 1st Battalion, 4th Regiment, de Grenadiers, Middle Guard. Then we've got 1st Battalion, 1st Regiment de Voltigeurs of the Young Guard. And then just the token unit thrown in was the last unit I built. Was 3rd Battalion, 105th Regiment of Line. They lucked out and got the good food, and they're hanging out with the Guard. Now give me a second and I'll flick over to the Brits here. I can try that. My kids came in. I love them. God bless them. Alright, now the English, I think this is, yes. 1st Brigade's on the left. You won't be able to see them all, but we've got 1st Battalion, 32nd Regiment of Foot from Cornwall. 1st Battalion, 28th Regiment of Foot from Gloucestershire. Those were James's MVPs in that first game we had with him. And then the ultimate MVPs, the Hanoverian Field Battalion from Verdun. And now the Black Watch is no longer in the Guard Brigade, and they are moved down into the 1st Brigade. So Black Watch, 3rd Battalion, Royal Regiment of Scotland. The Scottish. Alright, 2nd Brigade is the 1st Battalion, 4th King's Own Regiment of Foot from Lancaster. 1st Battalion, 35th Regiment of Foot from Sussex. Hanoverian Field Battalion from Bremen. And 1st Battalion, 92nd Gordon Highlanders Regiment of Foot. And then back in the back, in reserve, are the Guard Brigade of 3rd Battalion, 1st Guards, 1st Battalion Coldstream Guards, and 1st Battalion Royal Welsh Fusiliers. Both sides have got the same cannons, you know, a mix of 12s, 8s, 6 longs, 9s, whatever you got. Everyone's got 4 cannons and 1 Hussar squadron each. We'll try to get the, if you hear my daughter singing, sorry. And trying to get Cuirassier regiment done at some point here, but I think I'd rather kill myself. But here we go. We're going to do that next, but this is our battle here. I'm going to let James go first because we're being a gentleman. And we'll see what happens. We'll do some crazy dice rolling and see if anything happens. Alright, talk to you guys later. See you in round, the end of first turn or something. Alright, the evil, dastardly French. Alright, so the 1st Brigade shifted to the left, stayed in attack column. They could have gone for miles. James got double ones on those guys. We're exactly where he wants them to be. They're checking out the woods over there. To make themselves less cannon targets, the 2nd Brigade formed into line. Cannons stay where they are. The cavalry got an order to move to the left, to be between that hole right there, and they said, fuck you. They didn't go anywhere. And the Guard were told to relax. And they did. They didn't do a damn thing. They're drinking. Alright, it's the end of French. Turn 1. We'll see ya. Good way to go. Alright, so the French shooting phase was artillery barrage by the French. The 6-pounder was out of range, so they're still shining their guns. 2 12-pounders fired and missed. Yay. But the 8-pounder zappoed. It disordered and put a casualty on the boys from Cornwall. So they're successful opening barrage by the French. They caused a casualty, so better than nothing. All right, the French fired. I don't think we're having any hand-to-hand, so we can go right to turn 2, I'm pretty sure. All right, the British didn't do much. The line held. There was no attempt to do anything in front. The guard battalions moved forward like a move and a half. They got double one, so they could have gone for a mile. They stayed in column of companies, and they moved up into a hole vacated by the cavalry that almost shot off the freaking map. So they are on the extreme right flank, threatening the French left. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. It'll probably cause a reaction. Hopefully James's cavalry decides to come off break time. They're unionized. All right, I'm going to shoot some cannons at James's guys. That's we'll see if we hit anybody. We'll see in a minute. British firing line. That's all they did. They fired and they forgot to put the shells in there. Forgot to put the balls in the damn cannons. They fired a lot of smoke and missed everything. The French laughed at them. So no hits on that. Go into French turn 2. See what James does. Oh, it's beautiful. I love this view right here. Just looking down an entire line. That's awesome. Sorry, getting some cinematic stuff here. All right, see what the French do. Well, Field Marshal James said, "Fuck it." Committed the guard immediately. They advanced in attack column. They could have hit like 7 moves, but they went 2.5. They stayed abreast. This 2nd Brigade stayed in line and advanced. 1st Brigade did separate orders. 3 of the brigades all hit successful orders in a row, and they advanced within gun range in attack column. And his far left battalion got in line to try to blast the horses and try to put a disordered on them, and then basically frustrate the hell out of me. So if I can't attack, I can't attack. But he's basically coming across the board. There's going to be about a mile-long row of cotton balls out here in a second when this whole side lights up. And then the Brits are going to fire back, so it's going to be pretty brutal. All right. Yes. We'll see in a minute. Practicing my Steven Spielberg here. Oh. All right. James made a wall of fire across the entire fucking battlefield. Old Guard, Middle Guard, and the 105th all fired on Gloucestershire. And did they disorder these guys? Didn't they?
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. I think I put one down, didn't I? Where the hell did I put it?
I think it may be in front of...
I put it in the wrong place?
I think it's in front of one of the guard units.
Oh shit.
Did that in front of my guys?
Yeah, I fucked up. I stroked. I'm trying to cheat already. God damn British cheating already. Disordered them. Then the Young Guard and that battalion there in line fired on the boys from Cornwall. And they put another casualty on them. So they're at 2. Actually, I forgot. Their disordered is from last turn, so that actually picks up. So I forgot to pick that up. Then this battalion fired with that battalion there in column, and they did a casualty on the boys from Sussex. And then the 2 last battalions in attack column just screwed up and didn't do anything. And then that goes over. Those guys over there in line actually got 3 hits on the Queen's Own Hussars. They saved all 3, but one was a 6. So James accomplished his mission. So that cavalry is not going a damn place anywhere. So that decent. I mean, 2 disordered and 3 casualties. So not horrible. So that'll work. We will see what happens next. His artillery totally missed in the true artillery fashion, and we have no hand-to-hand, so we will go into turn 2. That's fucking beautiful. Turn 2, British gonna be a lot of first fires popping on this one. There'll be a lot of bullets flying back at the French here. See what happens. Okay. we'll see you in the next. We'll see you then. Oh, it's so beautiful. I really wanted to move just to say I moved, but I'm going to not move a damn thing. I really wanted to shift that end brigade to the right, and then move my reserve in. But I think it's too early. I'm gonna go against my gut here, which is usually always wrong, and just gonna fire like hell and see where the dice land, and then I'll go from there. All right, we're gonna shoot in a minute. Cotton balls from hell. The British fire back at the Frenchies. Middle guard take one casualty. The 70th, was it 2nd or 3rd Battalion, the 70th Regiment, they took a casualty. These guys got schlonked. They took 3 hits and they're disordered. They got blasted by I think that was these guys here from the Sussex hit them. And then King's Own fired across at the guys on the hill, and they disordered them and did 2 casualties to them. So, not bad. One of the cannons hit the middle guard, so that was, I tried to fire all the cannons at the guard to try to slow them down from slamming in, but I didn't get it disordered on them. I got 1 casualty, which probably won't do shit. But, not a bad round of shooting. And we're going to turn 3 for the French. Oh shit. That's freaking cool. I'm going to take some pictures with my phone of this stuff. This is the best part where they're like just lined up for miles. Oh, beautiful. It's like the wall of disordered over there. James's cavalry hold themselves in reserve back in Calais. They're way in the back. Okay, turn 3. What do the French do? We'll find out. The French gone in. The 1st Brigade there on the left, James's left flank. 1 battalion's formed in the line to basically make that continuous line. Looking thin, so first thing we said, there's lots of daylight behind them, but they've got their, they moved in support. The other two battalions moved into attack column and have crashed into the, where the fuck, I think Sussex, I think. These 2 disordered battalions stayed where they were. They won't be able to shoot. We'll pick that cotton up. Battalion moved in and engaged in hand-to-hand against the Cornwall, and then this is the big one. I think to the Gloucester unit deal. The old guard has gone in with a fully supported attack. It's probably not going to go well. We'll see what happens. The Scots are getting their kilts ready. They're going to be going into next. They're going to be doing "fuck you." They've actually stood against the old guard one time, so we'll have to see if they can do it again. Another big move was James limbered his artillery and moved forward. So they can't shoot this turn, but they're ready for next round. The cavalry did a brigade order. The cavalry moved up with him, so his cavalry's finally moved after 3 turns of begging for the commander. Good attack. All right, we're gonna do some French shooting. I like it. This is gonna be horrible. And I get to do some closing fire too. All right, we'll do the French shooting. I mean the British, French will shoot before the British. So the French got their shooting phase. The far battalion over there whiffed on the everything on the hussars, so their disorder is gone. The 2nd battalion fired and disordered and did a casualty to the King's Own. And then I think these guys here whiffed. I think they did one. They did a casualty to down here onto these guys at the end, right there. And but the big thing was the closing fire. God, what units? I keep forgetting this. This Gloucester?
I think so.
Yeah, they did a casualty and disordered on the old guard. The Cornwall did a casualty on the 70th, and I think whatever unit that is, the 1st Battalion, 2nd Regiment, they also took a disordered and a casualty. So, not bad for the Brits with the closing fire. And we'll do the hand-to-hand, and that's the big one. That's, we turn 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. This will be big. All right, James did a nice move. She shielded, did shield his cannons nicely, so when they turn around next turn, they can jack him up. All right, we'll see in a minute.
Side. Like you've got your guard back there, you've got your cavalry.
Yeah,
My guys are going to get wiped out over here. Your guys are going to get wiped out over here.
We'll have another battle in the center later.
Spiral into the middle.
The cavalry hasn't gotten involved yet. That's when it gets really, nobody can move when the cavalry starts doing their thing, which will happen this next couple turns. All right, so the hand-to-hand went, well, kind of a little expected. We didn't know if units freaking got annihilated, but we got 2 draws going on. Well, no, we don't have draws. We have 2 victories, but they're continuing to hand-to-hand. Both sides made the morale tests, except for the old guard came in and mangled the boys from Gloucester. They took the 1-step retreat, stayed in formation, and blocked all their artillery from shooting. They are shaken and disordered, so they're not having a good day. But they have retreated in line. They're still on the map. The Highlanders are getting ready to step up, and they're going to have to go against their old nemesis, the old guard here. Next up, I think that's the 70th. They went up against the boys from Cornwall, and they lost, right, James? They lost by
yes.
1, but held, so they turned out of attack column into a line, and they're hand-to-hand brawling. Same thing with that unit over there. 1st Battalion 2nd against the Sussex boys, but they won. And they're up. The Sussex guys made their save. And that's it. But that's... The cannons have come out of limber. Got some units disordered. Get you a good skyline view. And that's the end of the French turn 3. And we're really... I'll get a picture from the other side. We're fully engaged here. That's pretty cool. Glad I didn't trip and break my teeth on that extension cord. That'd have been... God, that looks awesome. This is a good angle over here. This looks stupid. Looks like a real damn fight. James said it. He's heavy on his right flank, and I'm heavy on my right flank. His guard is already engaged, and mine is not yet. It's taking a lot of self-control not to. I was going to send them in already. But they're brawling, they're stabbing each other, they're having a good time. Alright, brothers. We will see you in turn 3. Or the British turn 3 when we get back. Yeah, we're taking a break, but it's not going to feel like anything to you. See ya. Right. Yeah, we're going to design a green screen so we can make it pretty in the background, so you don't have to see water heaters and shit, because that doesn't quite add to the... It's not era correct. Yeah. What's happened? Okay, so I started off. I did a disorderly retreat. I knew they knew these units the other day. I think that's the Gloucestershire unit. I think. Shoot me if I'm wrong.
So, I think that's right.
I'm probably wrong. So they did a disorderly retreat to get out of the way of the artillery. These guys are from... I'm going to cheat this time. I'm not actually going to look. I can show that I can read. These guys are from Verdun or Verdun, whatever. We're from Kentucky. They're from Versailles. They slid over and they're behind. These guys are not black. These guys. This is a Black Watch?
Maybe.
Hell yeah! This is an old grudge match. Black Watch versus Old Guard. And I forgot when I was sleeping last night. I remembered the Old Guard should have won even more because they get to re-roll. They had that tough fighter too, so they got to re-roll one of their hits. So remember that for next time. Or they hit everything. I don't know. They probably did. They demolished that fucking unit anyway. That was a pretty savage hand-to-hand. So now they have supported to the rear. The Guard Brigade, so the Royal Welsh Fusiliers, the 1st Guard, and the Coldstream Guard have reinforced over and are kind of offering support to these two combatants. So that's what they did. technically I think it's the Coldstream Guard, isn't supporting shit, but just in case that unit gets wiped out, they're ready to go in and attack the center. I was debating about pushing the right flank, but nope. I did the cavalry was able to. I did not. I moved everything over the left. The cavalry did succeed in charging James's right flank, but he did successfully pass the order dice to put both of those battalions into square. So my charge stopped cold. And they're probably going to be in perfect range for a countercharge from the French cavalry, or gets blasted by artillery. Either or. But at least we have 2 units in square, but I'm not in a really good position to do much to those. But that is the British movement phase, turn 3. We'll do some British phase shooting here in a second. Beautiful. We'll see what happens. Alright. Alright, British shooting. Oh, man, it's... Shooting the old guard is not good. They just laughed at us and saved. I shot the Black Watch fired, hit like 3 hits into the old guard. They saved everything. The Royal Welsh Fusiliers hit the young guard twice. They saved everything. My 6-pounder and my 8-pounder both hit that regiment there, and they actually disordered them and put 1 more casualty on them, which is not bad. And then my 2 9-pounder longs, God knows what they were drinking. They shot and they missed completely. And I think I disordered that square there. It did 1 more casualty from that unit. So we accomplished something, but not terribly too much. I think the casualties are mounting up though, because they've got 3, they've got 3, they've got 2, and then we got 1 and 1 on the old guard and the young guard. So there are might be some rallying opportunities for the French. Alright, we're going to, I think it's hand-to-hand time, which is going to be pretty brutal. But we got our little markers out here so we know who the hell got the advantage last time. Well, we've got some vacancies. The boys from Cornwall and the boys from Sussex both won their hand-to-hand. And the battalion from the 2nd Regiment and the battalion from the 47th Regiment both broke. This supporting battalion kept their shit together, but those guys... they broke and moved the full unit, moved back and disordered. So this brigade is, they're hurting and they're retreated back here and they've reformed a new line. But these guys are all out there by themselves basically. And you got 2 squares, so it's kind of, I'll get another different angle, but there's a huge gaping hole in the center of the line. So James and I were talking, like the only thing we can find, the kind of bonus of the whole thing is his artillery is nothing in their way now from shooting, but we've got some work to do. That was a big victory for the Brits there on hand-to-hand. All right, we're going to turn 4, and here they are. The 2 French units relaxing. They're on vacation. Well, that looks a little bit like Waterloo, man. The French Hussars got 1 move off, but were enough to basically complete a charge or get pretty darn close to a charge on my entire line, which was all bottled together. So within range, there was, I couldn't get them all. They technically would be closer to it, but there was no way to do them all because they were all on top of each other so badly. So they're all in square now. They were all in range of the charge. So my entire line's in square. So we got Square City over here. And James tried to rally back there and failed. The old guard did their initiative move straight ahead and completed the charge on the Black Watch. So that's going to be another hand-to-hand nightmare over there. And that's later, but that's going to happen because James pulled back his other battalion to be with the rest of the brigade over here on the left, and it basically just opened up a beautiful window for the French artillery to blast into squares. So hoorah for him. That was good tactics, and that could suck real bad. All right, French shooting coming at you. Yeah, the Gordon Highlanders are like, fuck, we got to change out of the square ASAP. French artillery, all 4 guns, a 6-pounder, an 8-pounder, and 2 12s, just blasted into the Sussex battalion, which is no longer there. And then grazing fire, the cannonballs went right through their body parts and hit the Coldstream Guard and fucking annihilated them too. I rolled for shit on the, well, I didn't really have a chance. It was like a -7 morale check on the Sussex Guard was blown to pieces. It was probably, there was nothing left. Some shoes. And then all their teeth and skulls flew into the Coldstream Guard, and they fucking just couldn't take it. They broke, and I rolled like a 2 or something on that, so they shattered.
Impaled by a femur.
So yeah, femurs and teeth and skulls and 12-pound ball. So they're gone. I've got my entire middle just collapsed. My general's sitting there holding his junk, going, "What the fuck? Where'd my command go?" At least they weren't in the same battalion or same brigade. I think everything else kind of sucked. This square missed the cavalry. There was one hit on the King Zones. We did a casualty there. The French did a casualty there, and the Old Guard and the Middle Guard did one. I'm sorry, the Middle Guard and the Young Guard did one casualty on the Highlander on the Black Watch. The Black Watch did closing fire on the Old Guard, which the Old Guard basically picked up their bullets and chewed them. They saved everything and laughed at them. These guys fired too at the Cornwall unit, and I think they muffed it, didn't they? Or they did. No, they actually did pretty good. They forced a morale test, which they did fantastic on. I rolled a 10. So they stood, but they're shaken and disordered in their square. So yeah, it's starting to look bad. This was turn 5, and we have to do hand-to-hand next. Yeah. So now we'll see what the old guard is the only hand-to-hand left right now, right? Yeah. Yes. And that's gonna be horrible. Yeah. That's over there, where the massive humanity is where the old guard is. What a surprise! So I got 1 support, I think, maybe 2, and he's got 3. So we'll do hand-to-hand now for the French. Well, you might notice that the old guard is no longer fighting Highlanders, so. They blew them off the map, so they knocked them back a foot. They advanced into the Hanoverians, and we got to get a dice to mark that. And they've won that combat against the Hanoverians, but the Hanoverians survived their break test. So they are going to be now the Old Guard has gone back into line formation, but they'll have a plus there. They've got 2 of their supports at least. They went on without their back guys. And then you know about the holes everywhere else. So that's where we're at, besides the Black Watch retreating back a foot. And the Hanoverians taking some casualties. The Old Guard's got 3 casualties. The Hanoverians have 2. And I think we're going into British movement turn 5. I'll get an up top shot, because that's... crap is happening. Oh. Alright, let's see what happens. Because the fog of war is kicking in. It's getting fucking confusing. These guys got a successful rally. The cannons all shifted to the right. Cavalry tried to do some bizarro 3-part move to go there to charge that. Because they didn't want to charge across and just go through the dog food factory, charging in front of all those guns to attack the cavalry. So they're going to take a long route to get there. But they only got 1 order, so they're there. I felt insane. I was going to charge the King Zone into the artillery, but they failed their order. They told me to fuck off. And I think that's it. And these guys did, yeah. These guys rallied for that brigade. They told me to fuck off. They made some successful moves and then a rally. So that's it. So that's the British turn. We've convinced ourselves we're in turn 4, not turn 5. So I apologize for that. And now it'll be British shooting. All right, British shooting turn 4. The King Zone just wiped out. What battalion is that? What regiment is that? I don't even know. Look for a number on the flag.
8th.
The 8th battalion, 8th regiment. I can't remember if they're the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, whatever battalion. But the 8th regiment, they just buckled and broke from fire in square formation. They -3 morale check and rolled a 4, or 5. It didn't look too good. They got them. Yes. That's redemption for the Coldstream Guard, getting their ass kicked. Everybody fired at the cavalry, and we actually did 3 casualties on them, but I would like to have shook or disordered them, which I did not. I did get it disordered on the Young Guard, which might help. a little bit. And I can't remember what else we did. Oh, so 2 cannons fired into the cavalry and got some casualties on them, plus all the squares. And these other 2 cannons fired into that far left cannon of the French and did a disordered and 1 casualty on that. So we're close to. Doesn't take much to take out cannons, but at least I've got 1. That'll at least give them a -1 to shoot next turn. So now we're going into turn 5, and we don't. Oh, we have to do hand to hand. Sorry, we're not doing turn 5 yet. I forgot the Hanoverians do not want to fight the Old Guard, but they're going to have to here, and we'll see what happens. The boys from Hanover showing the Scottish how to fucking do it, standing toe to toe with 2 rounds with the Old Guard. They lost again, but they made their save like bosses, so they're still there. They're gonna have a -1 there. The next time the Old Guard will do it again, but the Old Guard's getting tired. They both have 3. They're both shaken, not stirred. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll fucking just unsubscribe from my channel after that joke. And but that was the only hand to hand. I'm 99% sure. It's getting fucking a bit kooky for Cocoa Puffs around here. But now the French can, yeah, I don't know what they're going to do. They're going to do something cool, I'm sure. James is going to do something awesome. But that was the only hand-to-hand in that round. Now it is French turn 5 movement phase, right?
Yes, I believe so.
We fucking agree. We don't know if we're right or wrong. We're going to go down together here. We're doing it good. No more corny jokes. And it's going to be good. All right, we'll see in a minute. All right, turn 5, French movement going into shooting here. The Old Guard is still bruising the Hanoverians. Hit some initiative moves. The Middle Guard, I'm going to go his way while he puts his cotton balls down. Middle Guard, and what the fucking regiment is this? 105th moved up in support. So this attack, not only is it fully supported, the French chasseurs à cheval nailed their charge into the side of the Hanoverians, which we've never had a double attack, but I'm 99% sure you can attack a flank while you're hitting somebody else, so at least we'll get to experience a new rule change. They did get shot on their way through, and they took a extra casualty, so they're shook or shaken, whatever the correct pronunciation is, sorry. And but they did complete their charge, which formed, once again, the British are just logistically screwed because there's not enough space in the reality here. They got lots more squares now. Hanoverians did not have to go into square because they were engaged in hand-to-hand. We're 99% sure that's right. Just call us F-bombs and tell us we suck in the comments that we got that wrong. But we can take it because we are drinking real man beer. Just kidding. It's not real man beer, but I like it. These guys tried to form into attack column and charge the squares, but they weren't having any of their commander's stuff. They said, no, you try that again. They'll try it again later. French cannons rotated a little bit just to make it look pretty, because they're going to fire into squares and mutilate them. And the French brigade over there, it's down to 2. They were able to form into a line and get another firing line going and secure their left flank. So, yeah. That was a decent move besides the 2nd Brigade, which ultimately failed. That brigade's they have a lot of casualties, so we'll say they have problems. And we're surprised, even though they've lost 2 battalions, that brigade over there is actually untouched, so they can actually do some good. They've been in squares most of the time. And then we'll do the hand-to-hand at the end. But that's what we got, and we'll do some shooting for the French. The graveyard's piling up, so we got the battalion from Sussex, the Coldstream Guard, the Black Watch, and the King's Own are over there now. And then the French have got 3 brigades. I'm in the Americans here. My camera's lost it, sorry. They've got 3 brigades. So I've got 1, 2, I got 4. So, yeah, I just got the King's Own, just got smoked by that firing squad. And then the very fragile Black Watch, who was barely keeping it together, they were shitting their kilts. The Young Guard, the 105th, and the Middle Guard fired up into them and did enough casualties to cause a morale test where they got fucked. The big thing here is the... Where the fuck are these guys from? Sorry about this. Oh, the guys from Gloucester are alone with the Hanoverians from Verdun. But if the Hanoverians break, this brigade is done. They'll be off the field. I really don't... If the Hanoverians win this, I think the French should retreat in my book, because it's no way. But if it happens, it's the ultimate victory. Because they've got to fight 2 units at once with... Squares can't support, so there's no supports for the Hanoverians. So that's going to be pretty horrific. Okay, and the cannons melted the... I forgot, the cannons fired and they blew through the first guard and they forced them to retreat. So they got every single pin we've got. They haven't done their first fire yet. They're shook with 3 casualties and they're disordered. And whatever's left of their body parts went through and hit the King's Own, no, hit the Rowell's Fusiliers.
Hey, buddy.
And they have 3 casualties. So, but they're not shook. So that was a brutal turn of shooting. We're doing hand-to-hand now, turn 5. Well, as forecasted, the Hanoverians, that was a lot. Taking a cavalry unit and an old guard battalion at once. We thought they might save, but they couldn't quite make the fucking 37 saving throws they had to make. So they broke, and then the boys from Gloucestershire broke, and the whole brigade said sayonara. So the British are down 1 brigade, and it's not looking good for the home team. We'll see what happens here in British turn 5. Got carried away there. Turn 5 turned into a combo British shooting, British melee disaster. It actually went pretty well. The Gordon's Highlanders finally got their first fire, and they shot one of the one of the French cannons, the 6-pounder. They already had a casualty on it, and it was disordered, yes, and killed it. Hanoverians fired into the square. I think they did one casualty and disordered them. So the boys from Bremen did something. Between this square, and this square, they've all fired into the French cavalry and forced a morale test and broke them. So they ran off the field. And then this other side of the square fired into that French battalion and caused a disordered and 1 casualty. So not bad. And then the combo part of it was the British, the Queen's, Queen's Only Hussars or something like that. I can't remember. They completed a charge against that square. They went into square. They had enough movement for the British unit to basically veer off and slam into the farthest cannon of the French, crush them in hand-to-hand, sweeping advance into the next cannon, and killed them. So they're pretty much spent, but they did take out 3 cannons in 1 turn between them and the Highlanders. So that's decent. I think it's going to be pretty... the old guard marching up onto the hill here in a minute and just basically killing the women and children. And we'll see you we're going to turn 6. I got to drink beer faster. All right, gents, we'll see you. Coming at you from the wheat fields here. All right, so the French, this battalion, God knows which one it is. It's just a French line battalion. They were able to get a successful move and pivot and are going to get an enfilade shot onto the Hanoverians. So basically the French have successfully taken the British right flank, which is awesome. We've got the square is going to fire up the shit pipe of the horses, plus it's going to fire into the Hanoverians. The Hanoverians are going to take a lot of brutal shots. And also we're going to do a canister shot into the horses. So we're going to have an Alpo commercial at the end of this one. The French line regiment over there was disordered, but they'll still be able to fire. And the other 2 battalions in that brigade were able to get successful charge orders in. So we've got another charge against the square. And then we've got the old guard basically just doing their usual meat grind. I guess they started back here. started back behind this hill, and they just advanced. And then they've just killed people. And that's what they've done. So they've got some casualties, but they're going in against the first guard, but they've got them stuck in square. So it's not going to be very fair. And they've got 3 supports, and it's going to be brutal. I'm thinking this is going to be the last turn because that team's going to buckle, but at least we're going to get to use canister shot, an enfilade shot, and then a nice hand-to-hand to finish it off. So it's going to go out with a bang, not a whimper, but it's going to be another fantastic black powder game. All right, we'll see in a minute. And the game ends with a fucking all-out attack by the old guard and the middle guard and the young guard and whatever the hell these guys are, and the wish we were guards. They slammed into the first guard. Technically, the brigade would have broke because the young guard shot the Royal Fusiliers and they failed their saving throw and they would have died, but there's no way we weren't doing this hand-to-hand. And the old guard defeated the first guard who was stuck in square. So the brigade breaks. I don't really count the artillery as being a part of a brigade. They're kind of a pathetic brigade. And all I've got left in the last brigade is basically 2 disordered units, a Hanoverian and a Highlander unit. So the British flee the field with the French having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 4, like 7. But then, how many only lost 4? Like 3? You really only lost 3 battalions, right? So you got 9.
Yeah.
So 9 battalions still on the field to drive them all out. So they basically would have chased them down. But it was a great game. It was James. The last thing James said before we got, when we just finished, was a lot of really cool maneuvers. And between the fact of, we tried over there originally. James tried to roll the left flank a little bit, and I had my cavalry out there, so he got concerned. He knew he was going to be heavy on the right, so I kind of countered and moved my guard brigade in to try to secure against his guard. But moving up the artillery, the cannons moving in, it was just too much. I lost my entire center. That one barrage by the cannons, between that coupled with the cavalry charges where they were all in square and getting brutalized by cannons, I think the cannons mutilated like 4 or 5 of my battalions. And then they were so softened up, then he just started picking me off, and that was really but it went tit for tat there for a while. I thought I almost had a good charge there with the cavalry. I started wearing away on his right a little bit, but just once my center broke, and then trying to stop this guard brigade, I think I need to get some more British Guard. I ordered flags from GMB for 2 more British Guard units. I think it has to be. The guards are amazing. There was seriously awesome. But the line guys did great. Did a lot of good shooting, a lot of good fun. We did enfilading. We had hand-to-hand. We had sweeping advances. We had canister shots. I think I don't know what else we could have missed. We had a double attack from 2 different facings in hand-to-hand. Yeah, and then tons of grazing fire with cannons going through units and mutilating other units on their side with teeth and bones and femurs and. It was a good game. I had a blast. That was a great game through. I think we're getting we got to play it a bit more frequently. With the you mix in a bolt action game between. I know I've seen a lot of guys get games confused. See you guys saying different terminology for the wrong game, but we kept it together pretty good. And had a couple trees move during the game. James's son came down here. My daughters were watching, and we started moving trees around. So that was they didn't move on their own. It's not like fucking Lord of the Rings down here. So. The Ents are attacking Isengard. But the French accomplished the mission. They moved forward, they crossed the field, and they took the hill, and they crushed the British and drove them off the field. So, great win for the French. And, yeah. We'll get some more units done and play something else. We'll see you in a little bit, guys. Have a great night. See ya.